Bella Salon and Day Spa, located at 41 West Main Street in Northeast Pennsylvania, proudly supports Chautauqua Sunrise and its volunteers. More information at bellasalonanddayspa.net. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Channel 5 studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Channel 5. Continuing the traditions of Senior Report, we are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week, countywide, from 9 to 10 a.m. Join us by calling in live, emailing us, or checking out our social media. And now, from the Channel 5 studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Doc Hamels, and happy Saturday to all of you. Hope you're having a nice weekend and that everything is going well for you. Okay, well, we've got a great show lined up for you. We're working through some technical setups here, so we're going to be taking some public service announcements just to do some catch our breath in a little bit. But before we get to that, I got a few things to share with you. Okay, well, I hope you all survived Easter and Dingus Day. I know certain quarters up in Buffalo, Dingus Day is like another national holiday, and it's always lots of fun. Easter was kind of quiet at my house. We had roast beef because it turns out half the family finally came through and said they didn't like ham. So we voted out the pig. The pig lost this year. Well, I guess the pig won, I suppose. Anyways, and I want to welcome all the snowbirds that are slowly coming back to Chautauqua County. We're glad that you could join us and be back home with all of us. And we hope that you're tuning in every single Saturday morning right here at Access 5 at 9 o'clock. Speaking of 9 o'clock, next week we're going to be doing things a little differently, and I'll explain next week. But this show will not be on at 9 o'clock. It'll be live at 10 o'clock. So for those of you that do follow us at 9 o'clock, don't be surprised that you're not going to see anything that looks like me until 10 o'clock, all right? And that show will be with George Borrello, our county executive, and that will be from 10 to 11. So just a little change in the routine, and there was a reason for that. All right, so let's see. I'm trying to think what else I want to tell you. All right, we have a bunch of announcements to share with you before we get to our guest later on. So let's see what we got here. We're going to start with our friends down in Jamestown at the Infinity, as always. They have new student orientation going on. And then if you're interested in music, art, dance, and theater, students of all levels are welcome to enroll in private and group lessons. The Infinity and Performing Arts Center will hold a new student orientation and intake session on Thursday, April 19th, 2018. Please contact the Infinity Center at 664-0991 to register for a session and reserve your spot today. Students may also register online at infinityperformingarts.org to be contacted for an orientation slot. Orientations last only about 30 minutes, including a tour of the facility and opportunities to meet Infinity staff members and schedule lessons. I'm telling you right now, if you have a young person that's interested in music or arts or dance, this is a fabulous, fabulous organization to be involved with. And I've done work with them over the years, and as you know, we have them come here from time to time and perform. It's absolutely unbelievable what they do. And many of these musicians and actors go on to careers in their fields. Okay, we have a slide of a buddy of mine, Jacob Swanson, I believe. He played here not too long ago. Yep, there's Jacob. He was here with Infinity, and he was playing his saxophone. The Infinity Visual and Performing Arts Center, as you know, is located in downtown Jamestown, will be hosting a local educator and saxophonist, Jacob Swanson, for a free read clinic, sponsored by Van Doren as part of Van Doren's Arts Education Program. The workshop will help teachers and students alike better understand and use single reeds and associated products for clarinets and saxophones. The workshop will be held April 21st from 10 to 11 a.m. at the Infinity Center down at 301 East 2nd Street, in case you don't know where it is. Participants will take part in a hands-on workshop that teaches basic troubleshooting, reed selection and maintenance, and more, a whole lot more. Free reed samples and will be available to whoever participates, as well as ligatures and mouthpieces. Holy mackerel, that's a mouthful just saying that. You know, I'm a guitarist. We don't do anything with our mouths except talk and sing, as you can tell. So there's a lot to all this. There's a lot of parts. The workshop is free and open to all music teachers, as well as area clarinet and saxophone students. For more information, give them a call at 664-0991. Okay, we have another slide here for child warriors. Learn how addiction works and how to cope with addiction in the family. Child Warriors will meet Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. at St. Luke's Episcopal Church at 410 North Main Street in Jamestown. Snacks and drinks are provided. Getting to know you, art and crafts. There's a guest speaker each week. Informal topics include family dynamics, coping and dealing with the situation, sharing struggles and positive memories, understanding addictions, planning your future, life skills. Wow. Kids 7 years and up are welcome to attend anytime. Bring a friend or family member. For more information, contact 664-3661, and you're calling CASIC. So what a great opportunity for kids to learn how to cope with those situations with addiction. As we've talked here on the show many, many times, this is an epidemic that's just going through our community as well as many communities throughout our country and around the world. Chautauqua Historical Society is holding their annual meeting. It's going to be held Saturday, April 21st at Lakeshore Assembly of God, located at 252 East Main Street in Westfield. Both historical members and guests should take note that venue is a new location compared to previous years. Highlighting the day is a special presentation entitled Chautauqua County Artist Richard Sigafus and Russell Welch, and presented by writer and researcher Lori Humphreys. Humphreys' presentation begins at 1 p.m. and is free and open to the public. Historical Society members will also want to attend the organization's annual meeting, which begin at 11:30 a.m. A copy of the agenda will be provided at the meeting. Between the meeting and presentation, a chicken and biscuits luncheon will be provided by the Parkview Cafe. Yum, yum. I eat there every week with my Rotary Club, starting at noon and available to anyone who made prior reservations. The cost is $15 per person, with reservation due by Thursday, April 2nd. So RSVP, I'll get it right, RSVP for the luncheon by calling 326-2977. Okay. Tobacco cessation using motivational interviewing. This is a workshop coming up with Anna Marie Masucci. She's a tobacco control specialist from the Roswell Park Cancer Institute. This is going to be held April 26th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Sign-in begins at 8:45 p.m., everything starting promptly at 9. This is going to be held at the Lakewood Baptist Church at 150 East Erie Street in Lakewood, New York. It's offered at no charge to the public. Lots of good training opportunities to go to that will help people with health issues and family issues in our community Lots of things are being offered. This informational session will cover nicotine dependence and the importance of addressing tobacco evidence-based research for the, pharmacotherapy, I can't say that. Principles of motivational interviewing, incorporating MI into tobacco cessation, stages of change, addressing ambivalence and resources and support services available. It's a 2-hour program, and give them a call at CASIC. Again, the number there is 664-3661. Okay, this one just came through. My buddy Rick Mascaro is always sending me little announcements and things like that. So this one's a new one. So let's pop that up, Jeff. This is called Laugh in the Dark. It looks pretty sinister. It looks like Rick. Okay. Lakeshore Center for the Arts is looking for performers, actors, singers, interpreters to take part in an adult comedy extravaganza entitled Laugh in the Dark that will be performed late spring of this year. So I'm sure we'll be getting more information on that as we go along. Comedy scenes, music, poetry, etc. will be performed in the show, and they are looking for males and females from age 18 with no top end age limit. I've never heard it put that way before. Again, this will be adult material. They think naughty would describe it. Nothing filthy, nothing outlandish, but definitely mature material. A few years ago, we did an evening with Shel Silverstein, and it was kind of edgy. So it was definitely adult material. If you're interested, please email Rick Mascaro at rickmascaro, RICMASCARO @gmail.com and let them know you're interested. Referrals will be very flexible as the show is made up of numerous smaller presentations that will make rehearsal much easier. So a lot of moving parts, so he's really flexible. He's a lot of fun if you haven't worked with Rick. I've worked with him many times. I'm surprised he hasn't barged into the studio already. I'm hoping that they're hoping if you have something that you want to try, this could be an opportunity to try out a new idea. This could be like, what do they call it? Americans Got Talent or something like that. This would be an excellent opportunity to get your feet wet if you have not performed in public before. My guest who's sitting here anxiously waiting knows only too much as like I do that performing in public is not an easy thing to do if you've never done it before. So this is an opportunity to try something out in a controlled atmosphere with lots of people that will love you and clap for you, and no matter how bad your jokes are, they'll still laugh. Okay, free May parenting classes are offered. Build a strong foundation for your children. Your child's first years are so important. Learn how to make the most of them with active parenting. First 5 years in this program, you'll learn the best ways to nurture your child from birth to pre-K with just the right combination of freedom and nonviolent discipline. Give your kids a strong start. My mother should have taken that one. She had the wooden spoon and my dad had the leather strap. Of course, Dad hardly ever used it. He would just jingle it and that would scare me and my brother. But Mom had that wooden spoon. Here's what you'll learn. What a baby's cry means. Ages and stages of development. Building a strong bond. Your child's growing brain. Using mindfulness to keep your cool. Effective discipline your children can understand. Choices and consequences. 6 ways to prepare your child for school success, and much, much more. 4-hour session. It begins in May, so it runs May 2, 9, 16, and 23. It's going to be going from 12 to 2 p.m. At the Mental Health Association over at 31 Water Street in Jamestown at the Gateway Center. This project is offered free of charge through a partnership between CASIC and the Mental Health Association. And again, I'm going to mention their phone number. It is 664-3661. Okay, before I take a breather here, I do want to say good afternoon to our friends at WRFA 107.9, low power to the people in Jamestown at the Reg. And I want to say thank you for joining us here on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. I'm sure if you stick around, you're going to enjoy the rest of the show. Also, I want to remind you that throughout the show today, that are watching us live here at whatever it is, almost 9:15, that if you want to give us a call, it's 753-5225. If you have something you want to announce or share with us, or you have a question for my guest or myself, give us a call. Don't be shy. All right, we're going to take an extended commercial break. We're going to be right back, so stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Okay, let's roll.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
I did. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terracloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that strollers have the right of way on the sidewalk?
Yes. Yep, I did. Did you guys
Did you know that kids who eat breakfast have higher GPAs?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's actually what I was going to say.
Did you know babies should never touch silver? It's really bad for them.
I knew that.
Did you guys know that statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
I'm putting that on my blog.
I just put it in mine.
All it took was someone who would insist that I just try.
Suddenly, everything was turned around because they judge you.
You tell them, I don't need this.
No one is going to understand.
Unless they've been through it, how can they?
Then one day you realize
You feel so hopeless.
I need help. I need help.
You feel so hopeless.
Then one day you realize
Unless they've been through it, how can they understand?
I don't need this.
No one's going to judge you.
suddenly everything was turned around because they insist that I just try.
All it took was someone who would just
listen.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late...
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new.
Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened?
Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
Welcome back. I'm Doc Hamels still, and you're watching Chautauqua Sunrise. Well, while we were watching these public service announcements, we had a flurry of activity here, and my guest went way beyond the call of duty. He had to run and get a piece of equipment that we didn't seem to have here in the studio. It all worked out. So right now, our long-anticipated show today is with Rusty Bova from Westfield, New York. Good morning, Rusty.
Good morning.
You made it.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, finally.
Woo! We were just talking about the horrors of being on stage with equipment, right?
Oh, it's amazing.
It's amazing. I mean, I've had cables break on me. I've had microphones go crazy, monitors that didn't work. So if things continue to go well, we're going to make it through this show.
I think we're going to do it.
Hey, look at that. Didn't I tell you we're going to have 40 minutes of the show?
That's wonderful.
So, Rusty, thank you for coming by and contacting me. Wow, my gosh, I think you contacted me last fall or something like that, didn't you? It's been a long time.
It has been. This all came together, when I went to go see a little play up at the Lakeshore Center for the Arts. Mm-hmm. I noticed a room over there, and I saw my teacher's face on it, and I went, that's Mr. Ross. So, I mean, right at that moment, it was back in August, I said, I've got to do a concert for him. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anyone has ever done it, but it's just something that was really dear in my heart to do.
Okay. So we'll get to that here in a little bit, because that's all part of what we're doing today, folks. We're talking with Rusty about his career and musicality, but also there's a show coming up next weekend that we're going to talk about in great depth. Okay, so Rusty, I don't know very much about you. I know you have a shop in Westfield, because I've been there over the years. You probably don't remember, but I think I bought some strings, and I think my son came over for train parts or something along those lines. But it's been a while. So tell us, were you born in Westfield? Were you born? All that good stuff.
Oh, I'm a native of Westfield, yes. Born by some wonderful parents.
That's always a good thing, as well as have lousy parents.
Got to have that in there. And I have to admit, I mean, they went overboard to make sure that everything was given. First boy in the family.
Oh, yeah.
when got into the fourth grade, when jumping ahead here a little bit
Oh, that's
into the
okay.
fourth grade. Back then, they used to drop the needle on the record, and they used to ask you, okay, tell the difference between the A and this note or whatever note. And we had to make it, write it down on a piece of paper exactly what was going on.
Holy moly.
Fourth grade now.
How'd you do that? My brain doesn't, just blew my brain right there. Wow.
Well, it's all I know is that when I was in college, we had a reclips of that, and it was just scary. But, those things right there that we had to do back in the fourth grade determined whether or not we were suitable for band.
Okay.
And Mr. Ross had a lot to do with that.
All right.
Okay. And sure enough, in the summer, I got myself, my parents got a letter saying that I was suitable for band. So we had the band roundup.
So fourth grade, you would have been about what? How old is that? I'm trying to think.
I don't know.
About 10 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
So while you were trying to work with Mr. Ross and figuring out the letters of the notes, I was trying to try out for the all boys choir at St. Mark's Church in Buffalo, and I failed my first audition. I was just a nervous wreck, and I could sing better than those guys. I know I could. So then they talked me into coming back. I think I told this story not long ago. And I came back, auditioned again, and my Croatian choir master says, "You're in." I ended up being the lead choir boy and captain and a first soprano. Can you imagine me being a first soprano? But so our paths are similar in that we got started about the same age in music.
Yes, absolutely.
So when Mr. Ross would have you tell you the notes, was that just part of his music lessons that you had, or was this like an audition?
No, that was basically an audition.
Okay.
Yeah, it was an audition in the fourth grade, because fifth grade is when you actually started.
Mm-hmm.
But we would actually listen to a horn being played.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of a horn was it? Trombone, trumpet, saxophone, oboes and bassoons, tubas. Those they weren't hard. But you had to tell if one note was higher from another, or if the trombone was lower than a trumpet, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that not everybody can do that. it's because they don't pay attention to it. They have a skill set, a brain part that's different than musicians.
Exactly. Yeah, we're a different breed.
Yeah,
we are. We really are. And it would be any different from somebody who'd be a plumber or somebody who'd be an engineer.
Right.
We all have that specific kind of a gift.
Yeah.
And I'm very pleased with it. It's brought me this far
anyways. All the way to Chautauqua Sunrise. This has got to be the epitome of your career, right?
Well, it most certainly is.
Don't answer that question.
It's a nice one. It's a nice one.
I made it to Doc's show. No, yeah. So let's keep going, because obviously you had a very colorful and very productive career, successful career. But so you, out of fourth grade, you go into fifth grade, so you're working with Mr. Ross in band, I guess, like.
Well, we had band roundup. This is where all the
band
parents and all the kids who got the letter ended up in the band room down there, and then Mr. Ross would give his little speech about what it was all about. And no doubt, it was time for each of us to be checked over by Mr. Ross.
Oh.
Checking out the embouchures, the teeth,
yes,
the formation.
I heard that, yes.
Yep. And here's where you're talking about the career. It's the good thing that I did what I did, and this is what I did. Okay?
Fill in the blanks, please.
There was a time and a place for everything here. He looked at my chops, says, you're going to make a fine trombone player.
Trombone.
I says, oh, no, I'm not. I am not going to play trombone. I want to play clarinet like Benny Goodman. Because my mother and father had already had these 78 records, and we were playing all of the Artie Shaws and Benny Goodmans.
My parents had all the same records, yeah.
So, but that shocked the entire room.
You challenged the teacher.
Oh yeah, man! I went back to my dad. He was the one that brought me, and I started crying. I says, "No way, I want to play that thing." So we ended up talking with him a little bit afterwards when everybody had gone home, and Mr. Ross, being so compassionate the way he was, he really cared for kids greatly, and he says, "No problem, you can play clarinet."
Awesome.
And that was the beginning of everything.
But there is something to that, though, isn't there? As far as the physical shape of our lips,
yes.
the thickness, our breath, ability to breathe, or tuba players, I'm sure, have to have a certain air capacity. I started on keyboard. I had this little tiny keyboard. I was going to be the keyboard in the rock band.
Oh yeah.
Then my brother got a guitar. I picked that thing up. I never put it down. I just 50-some years later, here I am playing string instruments.
Well, one thing you can say about that, Doc, is the fact that you know the difference between a white key and a black key, and you can surely find them on a guitar.
But but you know, the teacher, it's always somebody in our lives that influences and puts our feet on a path.
Yes.
And so let's keep going, because we're going to get back to your concert here before we're done, obviously. So you're in 5th grade, you finally win the battle with the teacher, you got your clarinet, so then what happened?
Well, school started, obviously, and we started our lessons. It was all 5th grade band kind of a thing.
Hot cross buns.
We played out of the, Oh, no. Ducks and hawks and crocs and all those kinds of things. I mean, they're here for... It was about the tone.
He did it.
That was the tone. That was my first note. Well, actually, I didn't have a clarinet attached to it, so it sounded like a duck. So...
But it's baby steps, right?
Serious baby steps. Whole Notes, man. Whole Notes is the Breeze Easy book. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
No.
But it was this pale green book that said Breeze Easy, and the first 7 pages were all whole notes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the whole thing about it, and believe it or not, they were really to develop your lungs, just playing a note.
Right.
So whole notes and long tones and stuff is still the thing of the day for anybody. So
basics always it carries through the generations,
Yeah.
A note. Okay, so obviously then you continued on with your clarinet, so you probably were like in elementary band and then like junior high school band. And so were you like first seat clarinet, or did they have those kinds of things?
Those things right there really never played a role until you got into the senior band. But all the way through, I loved the instrument so much that I practiced all the time.
Yeah.
And even in the summertime, I practiced so much they put me out on the porch.
Well, did your father ask you this one? Do you know how to play Far, Far Away? I thought it was a real song.
He gave me a book to sing along with Mitch. I'm sure it was in
Mitch
there.
Miller, yeah.
But and then from there, I sat first chair for the most part, all the way through. 3rd section, 2nd section, 1st section. And the senior band, same thing, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. And then eventually at Chautauqua Institution, I was first chair for the symphonic orchestra. And so I pretty much carried myself, and I just loved it enough.
So you were born in Old Soul when it came to music. Old Soul. I mean...
Oh, yes. Yeah.
The Beatles were our generation, and there you are
were.
playing these guys. Yeah. So how did that go with the rest of the kids?
The rest of the kids told me I need to get myself involved in some rock groups.
Yeah.
And I says, clarinet don't fit too well with that.
No.
This is way before I started picking up sax.
Right. Sax works pretty good. I played with saxophone.
Oh, yeah. And but the kids, they pretty much, all of my classmates admired one another, whoever we were in, whether it was sports or music.
Because it's not always that way.
It was nice.
Musicians sometimes are kind of like the oddballs until they go on stage and make records and all that.
Yeah.
Did you ever think you were going to have a full career in music?
I sure hoped so. Because I can remember, playing on the backyard of my grandfather and just standing out there over the ledge looking over Lake Erie and just thinking about being a musician, playing out there, dreams about playing with Benny Goodman. It never happened, although I saw him in person. And I did extend my hand. I was at Chautauqua. I was right in front. He was playing, and all of a sudden it was like Carnegie Hall all over again. All the kids were down front. Wow. I stuck my hand out to give him a shake. He took 3 steps, but the band told him to get back. So it never happened. But I was
Close
there.
enough.
I saw him.
Yeah. Those are really cool moments when you can see people that you really treasure and idolize, basically. So you are a trained musician.
Yes.
See, that's the difference with me. Is I was a trained singer, as in choirs and that, but I never took a single guitar lesson.
Yeah.
But people say, "Well, how did you do that?" And probably the same goes, I would guess, with other instruments for you. Once you know music, you just got to figure out where the notes are and learn the mechanics of it and just practice.
Exactly. I mean, it is a universal language.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of applying and finding all these kinds of things that are on the particular instrument you're playing with.
Right.
Clarinet, like oboe and bassoon, I mean, there's an awful lot of keys to press, and you only got these,
right?
And you use them all. So,
all over the place.
Yeah.
So, what was your trick as far as practice? I'll tell you what my trick was as far as learning your instrument without, like looking. Or did you have any particular pet tricks, or just practice? What did
Absolutely. You do? I mean, there's you can read all the notes you want, and that's a wonderful thing. Don't get me wrong. I am a classically trained musician from Fredonia State. Started at JCC, went to Fredonia, and went on from there. But Probably the biggest break I ever had was the day that my mother started singing some of Benny Goodman's songs from the 78. She actually sang them.
Wow.
I would sit there and try to find the notes.
Oh, wow.
So I became more familiar with the clarinet by trying to find the notes as opposed to, yes,
So you're
ear
tuning your ear.
training.
Right.
And that's a big part for any musician who wants to play any kind of a jazz form. Now, you can memorize Mozart, but you can't rearrange Mozart.
Mozart is Mozart.
That's what I love about jazz. You can fake a squeak and it would be great.
I know the feeling. That was intentional. Well, what I used, so you would tune your ear to your mom singing, and what I did was, because with the guitar, there's so much placement of your fingers, as you know, different places, I would sit in the dark and play.
Ah, yeah.
Okay, and it forced me to become one with the instrument and that type of thing. So this is interesting. All right, so Fredonia, you were classically trained. Then what happened?
Well, you know, I'll tell you what, I never really went on I did teach college for a while. I taught up at JCC for a while in the music department, thankfully to Mike Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
And from there, going into Fredonia, I ended up working in the repair department and helping them with the musical instruments because I pursued a background in musical instrument repair. And that's what I do today, pretty much.
Right.
I don't repair anything that's badly foreign, but I find American-made instruments and refurbish them and make them available to the parents and kids.
Okay, so as far as your playing, did you tour? Did you play with groups, bands?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, I have to look at my cheat sheet
go
here,
ahead.
okay?
Yeah, I told you. That's more than
I had
fine.
the opportunity over time to play with some very good names. A lot of them were in the big band, like band members. Now, in the area, it wasn't like I traveled on the road all the time. I didn't do that. But because we were in this area, and the musicians that are in this area, we were called to sit in the bands because they didn't travel with bands. Somebody like Billy Eckstein, and then we did legendary Earl Father Hines and Bill Toll, who was a Tommy Dorsey trombonist. So we played with guys like that. I played in the Fredonia Alumni Band for quite some time. And then also in the other venue that I have, which is the Christian venue, I played with and for Grant Jeffrey, Larnell Harris, Ron Canoli, and did a lot of television, a lot of radio.
Oh.
Yeah.
So for instance, let's say a big band were coming to town, and they're, I'm guessing, let's say a core group, then they would solicit local musicians?
Especially if it's like a big band setting, you know, where they need to have four saxes, 5 saxes, or something like that, or doubles, and people can play double instruments. That's always a good call.
Okay.
So we try hard to be on that record so that we can get the calls. But I'm a family man, okay? I am a family man. We have 2 children. My wife is sitting in the audience there. And I really wanted to open up a music store. So I went and pursued that kind of a career, which gave me the opportunity to teach and to play and to do things a little bit more in a family style.
So you do lessons at your
Oh,
house?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we do lessons.
And what kind of lessons do you do? Obviously clarinet. but-
Well, clarinet and saxophone, the flute.
Flute?
I majored in clarinet. I picked up sax and flute. We would do piano and, believe it or not, guitar.
Well, I can believe it.
Yeah, okay, guitar.
It's like the outside cousin. So does your wife play?
Do you play, honey? No, she doesn't.
My wife doesn't either.
But she's a great listener.
My wife's a great critic. Turn the mic up, turn the mic down. You're out of bounds. I mean, she's got a great ear for levels and things like that.
Yeah.
Actually, she ran. Well, she's played instruments with the band over the years. And then she moved to sound systems, and she can get those balances perfect. I mean, she's incredible.
Well, she's my support.
You know,
right there.
That's absolutely true. A musician, unless you're a bachelor, I mean, if you're a family man, you got to have family support. Even my kids, you know, they'll come out once in a while and have a listen, things like that, check in with me. So it's great. All right, so you know what? Let's kind of break things up a little bit. Let's first talk about the fact that you got this upcoming concert over at the Lakeshore Center for the Arts. So let's talk about that. Let's pop that poster up, Jeff, would you? And let's give that a shot. We'll talk about this a couple more times before we're done. But I want to talk about the concert and what you hope to be doing there and all that good stuff. So there it is. So talk to it. What's happening?
Well, this is going to take place next Saturday at 7:30.
Okay.
The concert is going to be pretty much like what I'm going to do here when I play.
All right.
We're going to be center stage, and we're going to be in the sanctuary of Westfield Presbyterian Church.
Oh, you mean the sanctuary?
Yeah, we'll be in the sanctuary.
The acoustics there are great. I've done some shows there with the crew.
I was grateful enough to be able to put that sound system in that church.
Oh, it's nice, very nice.
The concert is a dedication of the styles of music of which Bill Ross is also from. Benny Goodman, obviously we know there's the 40s and 50s, maybe even the 30s, the latter part of it. And then Pete Fountain, which is the Dixieland jazz.
All right.
And then Boots Randolph, which is the Nashville jazz.
All right, it has a whole different sound.
So there's three different generations of music happening, or genres of music. And the purpose of this is to take people back to music that you really don't hear too much of.
No, you don't.
And some of the songs that we're going to be doing will be like Let's Dance and Don't Be That Way, which are popular Benny Goodman tunes. And then when we get into the Pete Fountain, we're going to be doing Basin Street Blues and Cabaret and Like You're Nobody Until Somebody Loves You. Now that's a standard,
right? But
it's done, and I've heard Pete do it, and I've enjoyed that, so I've tried to reproduce most of it through the style of jazz. Now, I'm a very unique jazz instrumentalist because I have to combine those three together in one instrument. That's kind of like triple tonguing with one tongue.
I don't even want to think about that. You just hurt my head.
Yeah.
Oh.
But then the second set is going to be tenor sax.
This is just you?
Yeah, just me.
A one-man show?
One-man show at this point.
Okay, this is where I say, are you crazy? I mean, that's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Because I do solo shows and sing and play, but I mean, that's a lot of work.
You are listening so intent. I mean, I'm not going to use monitors on the floor. First off, it's a big hall. It can overpower things. Yeah. But I'm going to be using actual recording headsets.
Wow.
And I'll tell you right now, you may not know what that looks like, but it's like being in the studio recording your album, which we have a couple of them out. And it also is very, very, very intricate in all of the notes and hearing it precisely so that you can do this one-man show. It's difficult doing it with open monitors. Right. It really is.
Okay.
But it's a different one. I've not been able to get the musicians that record it all with me. They're expensive. And and this concert is benefiting the Lakeshore Center for the Arts.
Nice.
They're the ones that are receiving the finances for it. I'm doing this because of my love of music and because of what a teacher did for me.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
All right. So you've got a couple selections you're going to do.
Yes.
And I thought, let's do one, and then we'll come back and talk some more. How's
Sounds
that?
great.
All right. So why don't you get prepared, and we'll cue up Chris, who's at the ready with the CD. So what's the name of this first one?
First one is going to be Let's Dance. It's a Benny Goodman tune.
Okay.
I got to move this chair
You
here.
can do anything you like. Okay, folks, so I'll do your introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, first time here in our studios, Mr. Rusty Bova doing a Benny Goodman song. Did I say that right? Benny Goodman? All right, here we go.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wowza. And you're going to do that for how many hours?
That's my opening number.
That's your opening number.
My opening number, we're going to do that for 45 minutes.
Wow, that was terrific. So I'm glad this sound system finally got all put together
Yeah,
this
I'm
morning.
glad
The people could see what was going on here behind the scenes. It was a lot of everybody working hard together. Okay, well, that was, while you were playing, I was watching my mom and dad dancing in my mind. No, I was watching dad spinning mom around and doing a little dip, and my father-in-law and my mother-in-law would on the dance floor doing the same thing. So that brought really good memories. Wow, you're really smooth. That was really nice. I can appreciate that. I was watching your fingers and going, mine don't move that fast.
It took me 6 months to get them back in shape.
Yeah, it does take a little while when you haven't been playing a certain tune or so. So now, Westfield has always been famous for the Dutchmeisters. Did you play with those guys?
Yes, I did. I was a member of the Dutchmeister band. And I got the hat, had the shorts.
There's a hat. Oh, you mean like Lederhosen and all that stuff?
Lederhosen, yes. Oh, yeah, we were out there in concert.
You're not German.
No, I'm not. I'm far from the other side. But it was a local band. They came and asked me pretty much to play the tenor sax. And then every now and then we would double because just the nature of the music, to play clarinet.
Okay.
So it was a nice front line.
How many people do you think are watching out there in Chautauqua County that have a clarinet or a saxophone that's in the closet and they never play it?
Well, I feel sorry for them.
The clarinet or the people?
Yeah.
Or the spouses?
It's really amazing because in all of the concerts that we do, and especially at the receptions, they always say, I got one in my closet. I just wish I would have stayed with it. But things change in life. Sometimes it's just not really meant for everyone to be in the forefront of being a musician. There's quite a bit that goes into it. And people do change things in lives, and they have to go what they have to do. But I think what they really need to do is to take it out and be amazed in how the memories come back.
The muscle memory and the toning in your head. Yeah. And I always encourage people when they say that same thing. They'll say, I got a guitar and it's sitting in the closet or it's in the corner or under the bed. I don't know if you hear that one, but it's under the bed. And I say, take it out. Bring it over to the house. I'll tune it for you. A gentleman I met over at LSS in Jamestown, he said, I got a mandolin I want to show you. And I play mandolin. And I said, okay. And it was from 1894. It was a beautifully crafted one, but didn't know how to play it. He just was gifted to him.
Oh, wow.
And so I hope to see him again and tune it for him and actually play it for him in a little show. So, but I mean, there's instruments all over the place, and people just get those instruments out. And if they want to take a lesson, give you a call. How's that sound?
I'll tell you what, let's join up on that one. Huh?
So the Dutchmeisters, now the Dutchmeisters are no longer, right?
No.
Okay.
The best that I understand, I do believe they've broken up. They were not enough people going around.
Now there's a community band in Westfield, isn't there?
It was community. It was members of the Westfield group, pretty much the core of Bill Ross's band.
Okay, because I know Kelly Matthews and all those guys. Yeah. Well, and Rick Mascaro plays trumpet.
Yes, he did. Yes.
And and I've done some work with when it was the Barcelona Blues Band. I was playing with them a couple seasons, and then they would have the community band that's I think still in formation that they played before us. There was a lot of trumpets and saxes and that. So, are you part of that group or no?
No.
Okay,
no, I'm not.
I'm just curious.
Okay. Things are bound to change, though.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, that music is definitely that way. I mean, so have you ever played anything other than the genres that you play now? I mean, do you play rock?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much the saxophone.
Right.
I play all of the saxophone. Tenor's my favorite because of boots and all that, but I play the soprano, alto, and I do the baritone.
True or false, I found that the guitar and the saxophone were like cousins. The tonal sounds of them, maybe it's not the tenor one, but the others, they seem to go really, really well with the guitar.
Well, way back when, guitar was probably obviously the favorite for Silent Night because the organ broke down and needed the guitar. But when you take the tenor or you take the saxophones, and if you use the right kind of mouthpiece and stuff on it and get the right players, it sounds just like a pipe organ. It's fantastic sounding.
Right.
And if you add the clarinet to it, why then you just go from that to Glenn Miller.
Right. So, my parents had Glenn Miller records and all those guys, and in fact, they even had like Caruso and all those guys, and so we have sort of a similar background in our background as far as music goes. So, for those that may have grandchildren or listening right now, or I don't know if kids watch our show or not, what would you say to them as far as, aspiring musicians or someone that maybe was thinking about playing clarinet? Any advice you want to give them right now?
Well, it obviously starts in the home, and we have to have our parents go and get some CDs or download some music. You can download my music, from the internet, but you can also get old records from Grandma and Grandpa and play these things and let these kids hear the genres, the variety of different music, but with the instrumentation, combo style, Benny Goodman's and Artie Shaw's and that nature, and then bring them into the modern music where you're going to hear pretty much all saxophone, trombone, kind of like the group Chicago. Oh yeah, hearing the horns. Parents have to get involved with the kids, and otherwise they're just going to play in high school and they're going to just forget the instrument and they're going to be recycled.
Help me with this one. I know sometimes kids will say, boy, I really would love to play whatever instrument, but it costs too much. Is it expensive these days?
Oh God. Yes, they are very expensive today. I can remember when I had the store on Main Street in Westfields, that an American-made alto saxophone, such as the King, was only $350. That same sax today would be close to $3,500, and it's not even made in America anymore.
Oh my God, $3,500.
It can be $2,200. Depends on the grade.
Sure, absolutely.
If they have just a pure glossy brass with lacquer on it, it might be $28. But if you get something with a dark lacquer on it with maybe an extra F key or something like that, it could be $3,200, $3,500.
I'm learning more about instruments that I don't know anything about right now. I don't even know what you're talking about, but I understand. Because I'll tell you why I understand. Because it's the same thing with guitars. It's the wood, it's the tonals, it's the lacquers, the finishes, the vibration, whatever. So I'm sure it's the same.
Well, this thing right here is made out of granadilla wood, this clarinet.
Where does where's the wood come from? And what country? I mean, is it South America?
That's an African wood.
Right.
But this was handmade in Paris.
Wow.
This particular one. This is a buffet. And this was purchased by my parents. I still have this.
How old is it?
Oh, goodness gracious. I was, I think about the 9th grade in high school, a 1970 model. My buffet is, my tenor is a buffet, a Super Dynaction. And I picked that up about a year after that, but they were all in the 1970s. Wow. But this particular instrument, this value of this instrument exceeds 10 figures. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 figures. Wow, 10. Hey, don't come and see me.
10 figures, I've never.
Wow.
Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, but not a clarinet.
I wanted to say, it values above 10,000, okay?
Oh, yeah.
But that's the kind of nature that this instrument is. It's like a violin.
Yeah.
And but there are some instruments out there that just won't even make it.
Do they get better with
this thing
years?
here? Yes, absolutely.
I find the same thing with
this right
other
here
instruments.
I'm using a glass mouthpiece on it because I like the brilliance tone, but it also brings out the incredible overtones that no hard rubber mouthpiece can do. And it does depend on the year or the age of the instrument. It really does.
Right. All right, well, we've still got about 10 minutes, so I don't want to miss the opportunity for another selection. Would you do us another one?
I'll do another one for you.
All right, so what are you going to do for us? You introduce it this time.
It's a real good favorite of mine. I love the song, and it's Closer Walk.
Closer Walk by whom? Who?
Traditional, Closer Walk to Thee.
Oh, okay.
Traditional. Whoops. Number 2.
Where'd you get all that air? I'm huffing and puffing over here.
I was underwater there.
When you hit that low, I go like, ah. That was great. And you know, it's funny, when you said that, you introduced the song, you said traditional, and I'm going like, okay. And all of a sudden I realized I've played that song with the Barcelona Blues Band. Rick was doing your part on the trumpet.
Ah, can't wait to have that one.
Yeah.
Have some Dixieland jazz.
Yeah, that was great. Woo wee. You hit one note that went woo.
Yeah,
up there.
That was a high A.
It was
high A.
Hello. That was terrific. Okay, so wow, there's a lot to talk about here yet. So Rusty, you said you give lessons and so on. So if people are interested, I mean, obviously, people that have their clarinets under their beds are going to say, I'm too old, I'm embarrassed, I'll forget it. Would they be interested? Do you have older students?
Yes, we have openings, yes.
And work with older people? I mean, people that are not kids?
Well, anyone who wants to get started. What I'm going to, because I have a certificate of teaching, or I've been trained from K through 12, we can start them right from the very first page of a book and take them into medium advanced.
Okay, well, hold that thought. We have a phone call. Would you like to take a phone call?
Oh, sure.
Okay, this could be a critic. I don't know. We'll find out. Good morning, caller.
Well, good morning. This is Linda Spalding. Good morning, Doc, and good morning, Russ. This is quite a performance. I'm just loving every minute of it.
Well, thank you. I tried my best. No, Rusty he's the man here today. Wow, wasn't that something?
Terrific. I'm loving it. And you were right when you said if the parents encourage the children or if they play an instrument, that has everything to do with what happens. I know my mother is the one who got me started because she played the piano.
Uh-huh. And what was your instrument, Lynn?
Piano.
Oh, piano. Okay. Yeah,
yep.
Great.
And I still play.
You do? What kind of music do you like to play?
I like to play all kinds. I like classical, pops, jazz, everything.
Super. All right.
So,
excellent.
Well, I just don't want to interrupt you because it's such a terrific show. I'm really enjoying it. And I do want to mention that there are services with the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging, and the one that I direct is the Senior Employment Program. We have openings. We're recruiting people for jobs and positions. We also have the free computer training at the Ohio Library in Brockton and the Patterson Library in Westfield. And the number for the Office for the Aging, other services besides employment and training, is 753-4471.
Wow, you've done this like you've practiced.
Well, I wanted to talk fast because I don't want to hold the show up.
Okay, then. All right. Well, listen, I know you know a lot of folks that have those clarinets under the bed or in the closet, so give them a call. Give them a call to Rusty. What's the phone number, Rusty, they can call you at?
716-326-6891. I'm not there yet, but I will be. 716-326-6891.
Okay, and this show is rebroadcast throughout the week, so maybe you'll get some phone calls.
Super.
So people, if you're out there, so then, if you know people that want to play again, he's your man.
Okay.
All right.
Come to the concert.
I will.
All right, she will.
Have a great week and weekend.
All right, Linda, thank you very much for calling.
Bye-bye.
Well, Rusty, we're down to like 2 minutes here.
Yeah.
So what are your future projects? Do you have other concerts lined up, or was this a one-off?
Yeah, at the present time, no, I don't. There's some things that may be coming up where I may have to go out into Texas and a few other places, because I do a lot of Christian jazz, trying to get this music into the churches. Believe it or not, I have been told that there's no way I'm going to have that in church, but it's still a
yes,
wonderful
I can believe
thing.
that.
You heard a song.
Yeah.
It's fine stuff.
Right.
And so there's other opportunities that most certainly are going to be opening up. And
I can't believe you played that song. It was like the third note. All of a sudden, I played guitar on that. I know. In fact, Rick was playing, doing some instrumental, and I was doing some instrumentals on it too, and we had worked it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Diane Scarpine was actually doing the vocals with the group on that one. So it was nice. So let's talk about your show coming up because we're running out of time. So let's pop up that poster one more time, Jeff, and you can talk about your upcoming concert next Saturday, a week from today.
Well, I don't have the phone number to call into the Lakeshore Center for the Arts, but it is on their website under contact. However, just so that you know, that the concert is $10 to get in. I was just told by Rick Mascaro of that particular dollar amount. So it is on Saturday, April 14th. Next weekend, 7:30 in the evening in the main sanctuary of the Presbyterian Church.
And there's tickets at the door because your wife just told me.
I'm sorry?
Your wife just told me that tickets are at the door as well.
Yes, that's where you can get your tickets. You can get them right at the door, open door, right.
And you're going to be featuring the music of?
Benny Goodman, Pete Fountain, and Boots Randolph.
All right, so different genres, and it's going to be a one-man show, and you're going to have the sound system as well so people will hear the full effect. Yeah. So, folks, you had a little taste of what Rusty's going to be doing. I encourage you to check out the concert, and that particular venue is just awesome. The acoustics in here are fantastic, so great time. Rusty, we're just about out of time. So, one more time on that phone number if somebody wants to get a hold of you. It's
my personal one is, 716-326-6891. That's my business phone.
Okay. We've run out of time. Rusty, thanks for coming by. It's been a long-anticipated show.
Doc.
I'm glad we worked it all out in the end. Woo! That was a squeaker. So thanks to the crew that being flexible here. We're going to do this all again next week, but at 10 o'clock, not 9 o'clock. And again, you can watch this show throughout the week. Take care now. And warmer weather is coming. I'm positive. Take care now. Bye now.
I hope so.
Yeah, really. Woo! We did it.